Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Ms. Marseille Romero.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, and please be seated. Welcome, friends of Frostburg State University. I'm Dr. Kevin Peterson, Grand Marshal for today's ceremony as we celebrate the inauguration of Dr. Ronald H. Nowaczyk, this university's 15th president. Please welcome our presiding officer, Dr. Martha R. Dolly, professor of English and a graduate of the Frostburg State College class of 1974. Dr. Dolly.
As a professor and as a graduate, I am truly honored to serve as the presiding officer for this milestone event in our history. I want to extend a special welcome to the delegates representing colleges and universities throughout the United States. Delegates, if you would rise and be recognized. Serves as a member of Governor Larry Hogan's cabinet. Maryland's Secretary of Higher Education brings to his position many years of experience in higher education and in Maryland state government, serving under 4 governors. I am privileged to introduce to you Dr. James Fielder, Jr.
Good afternoon. What a pleasure it is to be in Frostburg, and that the snow was here today to welcome Kim, who's the president of Towson University from Michigan, and it's nice to be out here. On behalf of Governor Hogan, I'm honored to be here today for this wonderful occasion to hand over the helm to a tremendous President Nowaczyk. We look forward to your leadership and the great things that you are about to accomplish here, and Frostburg will flourish. Governor Hogan has made higher education a very top priority, both in funding as well as in innovative ideas, and continue to work with the legislature leadership to try to change the way higher education is happening in the state in terms of providing greater support for the students so we can lessen student debt and look for innovative academic programs. In addition, the Hogan administration has spearheaded the Maryland Smart Buy initiative. Has anybody in here heard of that? Let me take a real quick minute to tell you about it. It's through the Department of Housing and Community Development. It's for students who've graduated with student debt so they can fold their student debt into a mortgage program from a state of Maryland home. So it's a good program. We will spread it around the state. It's a good initiative, again, to try to help students be more successful with less debt. Working together, the education leaders like President Nowaczyk, I know that we'll be able to continue the great work of the state, and especially here at the college. Again, I offer my congratulations and look forward to the next great chapter for Frostburg University. Thank you very much.
Our next guest speaker is a local businessman and a former police officer. This 1992 graduate of Frostburg State University is now the mayor of Frostburg. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Robert Flanagan.
Good afternoon. I feel very honored to be with all of you as we celebrate the inauguration of our 15th president, Dr. Ronald H. I'm not only the mayor of Frostburg, but as Scully said, I'm also a graduate of this fine institution, and as recent as last year, I served on the presidential search committee that elected our new president. My first meeting with President Nowaczyk was during the presidential search interviews. I was immediately impressed with his knowledge of not only Frostburg State, but our little city as well. It was obvious to me that he had done his homework and was more than prepared to catch any curveball that the good mayor might throw at him. He was very clear and concise in his answers to the committee, and I really felt we had found a great fit for Frostburg. Before taking the reign in May of last year, the president's family and I got to spend some time together. After chatting, I felt even more secure in the fact that this man who cares and wants to work side by side with me to make Frostburg shine. And that's exactly what we've been doing together. Early this year, the city and university entered an economic development partnership. We hired a site selection group to work with us to explore our strengths and weaknesses and to move forward to develop new employment opportunities in our region. We're currently using their study and results to help guide us in the proper direction to bring economic benefit and jobs to this area. We'll be hearing more about this very soon. Recently, the president accompanied me to a downtown business meeting and a little social that we had after. The event was very well attended. He got to say hello to many business folks that he already knows. He knows a lot of people already. Well, I had the opportunity to introduce him to just a few people. Throughout the event, we worked closely with different business folks. And I heard a lot of very positive things about the president and the mayor being out at the business meeting together in Frostburg. I was so impressed that President Nowaczyk and his family decided to purchase a stately home on Frost Avenue here in the historic district of Frostburg. It shows to me their commitment to preserve the history of Frostburg, wanting to be close to downtown and the charm of our little city. The President and I have become very good friends. We both want to see growth and prosperity in Frostburg while retaining our small town appeal. And now, before I close, I would like to thank Mrs. President, Maureen, for her friendship and love of Frostburg. Her desire to be involved in the community is very special. And Jake, you're the mom. Thank you all.
Representing the alumni of the university, our next speaker is a 1998 graduate of Frostburg State University, Vice President of the FSU Foundation Board of Directors, and President and CEO of the United Way of Frederick County. Please welcome Mr. Kenneth Oldham, Jr.
Good afternoon. Representing alumni of this fine institution is no easy task, but I'm going to give it a good go. Actually, I was a music major, and I do a lot of public speaking, and nothing brings stage fright packed like this place. The nightmares I've had on this stage. On behalf of the alumni, we welcome you, Dr. Nowaczyk, to Frostburg State University. Not only are the alumni a fun-loving bunch of misfits of impeccable charm, but we're also kind-hearted and generous and extraordinarily thankful for the education that this institution brought to us. I can honestly say that I've never met an alumni that I didn't like immediately. I knew from our first meeting that you understood all of that. It was clear to me immediately that you were the right choice for this position, and we welcome you fully to this new task. At this point in my speech, I had a beautifully worded, impeccably phrased comparison between the date of this inauguration and springtime. So I'll close with this. Blah, 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 it's Frostburg, just what did you expect? Dr. Nowaczyk, on behalf of the alumni, thank you for being here. We're delighted to have you, and I look forward to working with you.
Of the Frostburg State University faculty, please welcome Associate Professor of Psychology and Chair of the Faculty, Dr. Michael Murtaugh.
When I was asked to say a few words, I figured who better to come to if someone can say just a few words. The faculty probably know that a little more long-winded than the rest of the audience, so I will keep it brief. The one thing that people probably don't know about faculty is that we can be a rather suspicious lot, especially when it comes to getting a new leader. I'm seeing everyone shaking their heads no down here. And so when we were getting a new president, there was a lot of worry and concern. Who will it be? What will they be like? What will be the changes they'll bring with them? And one of the things that's been so wonderful to see is that one of the things that our new president brought with him was a true commitment to communication, of keeping everyone up to date with what's going on, what are the issues, and so forth. And while open communication is necessary, it's not sufficient to make sure you make the alliances that are needed to keep a university vibrant and growing. The other element that's needed is the ability to listen and pull groups together. And we are very lucky that we have that in spades with our new president. He reaches out to different groups to find out what their thoughts are, and then most importantly, he actually listens to those thoughts and then brings those together with all the other data and information he has as he makes his decisions. And that's part of why I'm very confident to be able to say, in speaking of the faculty, how thankful we are to have him with us. One of the things that we want to always be sure of is that we are keeping that growth going. And again, we know we are in good hands, so thank you very much.
Representing the students of Frostburg State University is a young man who has achieved distinction in the classroom, as I can attest, and as a campus leader as well. Please welcome Mr. Nicholas DeMichael, FSU class of 2017 and president of the Frostburg State University Student Government Association.
Thank you, Dr. Dolly. On behalf of the Student Government Association and the Frostburg State University student body, I would like to welcome the Chancellor, members of the Board of Regents, university and college presidents, representatives, and other guests to our campus. Thank you all for having us here today. In the 1 year since Dr. Nowaczyk has joined our campus, much has happened. In addition to this internal presidential transition, the campus has been evolving and operating through both internal change and a period of national political debate. The past year has at times been volatile in the not-so-distant Washington, and Frostburg exists not in isolation, but as a microcosm of our society at large. And one of the most positive things to come out of the past year is a renewed passion for democratic participation, for debate and discussion, for information and participation, for representation. As we sometimes see on the national stage, it can be difficult to effectively preside over constituencies, especially during periods of polarization. But the past year on our campus has shown me that it is possible to do just that. Since Dr. Nowachyk's arrival, we in the student body have been impressed with his commitment to the student voice. It's evident that our president values the student experience and the responsibility that we share in crafting this experience. This dedication is potentially most visible in student representation on campus governing bodies. Shared governance, long a goal of the SGA, seems set to become realization on our campus. In the past year, Dr. Nowaczyk and the SGA have worked together to ensure that the students are heard on committees and boards throughout our campus. We've played active roles in our new University Advisory Council, and we've been thrilled to be engaged in the university strategic planning process. These are not mere bones to throw to students. This is how we become a truly inclusive campus. This is how we value our constituents, how we let them know that they are vital to our purpose and mission here at FSU, and it's been wonderful to see in action. You can tell a good bit about a person by how they work with others, how they treat their peers, their subordinates, the people that depend upon them. And I'm proud to say that in President Nowaczyk, the student body has found a partner. We look forward to the future of our campus with President Nowaczyk, to the realization of our shared visions, the enhancement of the place we all call home, and the continuance of our shared partnership. Thank you, President Nowaczyk.
At this point, we would like to acknowledge greetings from others who were not able to speak in person today. Through their representatives, congratulations are offered from U.S. Senators Benjamin Cardin and Chris Van Hollen. Senator Van Hollen is represented today by Ms. Juliana Alkowitz, seated here near the front. Thank you. Congressman John Delaney offered President Nowaczyk Nowaczyk his congratulations earlier in person when he was on campus but was unable to stay for the ceremony. We also welcome Mr. Mark Widmeyer, Governor Hogan's Western Maryland Outreach Coordinator. And Maryland State Senator George Edward also offered his greetings. Maryland State Senator Roger Mano sent this message. Congratulations on your appointment as the 15th president of Frostburg State University. Your dedication to higher education has given you the opportunity to lead the great school of Frostburg to new heights. I am gratified to know our universities have such talented and sophisticated leaders to give our students the education they deserve. Above all else, education is the key to a successful society. Maryland State Delegate Mike McKay sent this. Congratulations on your inauguration as the 15th president of Frostburg State University. Best wishes to you on this outstanding achievement as you move forward with the gifts God has given you. I also offer the following citation delivered to us today by Allegheny County Commissioner Bill Valentine, who is here with us. I'll hold this up so you can see and read the proclamation. Whereas Allegheny County is fortunate to be the home of Frostburg State University, and whereas today our community celebrates the inauguration of Dr. Ronald H. Nowaczyk as the 15th president of this distinguished educational institution, and whereas Dr. Ronald H. Nowaczyk possesses extraordinary professional credentials and ideal personal attributes for this premier leadership position, and whereas Allegheny County government and Frostburg State University have worked successfully together on many projects to develop the region's economic strength, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners wishes to enhance this mutually advantageous relationship and work for the betterment of Allegheny County, Frostburg State University, and our community as a whole in the future, now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners wishes to sincerely congratulate and highly commend Dr. Ronald H. Nowaczyk. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of Allegheny County, Maryland to be affixed this 7th day of April in the year 2017. The Board of County Commissioners, Jacob C. Shade, President, Creed V. Brody, Jr., Commissioner, William R. Valentine, Commissioner. Frostburg State University is fortunate in its membership in the University System of Maryland, a cohort of 12 constituent institutions led by a chancellor who is a respected leader in higher education. Our chancellor has a long history of involvement in the University System of Maryland, including serving as president of Towson University. I am pleased to bring to the podium for his remarks prior to the official investiture, Dr. Robert C. Corrett, Chancellor of the University System of Maryland.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. Great to be here with the Nowaczyk family, the extended family that has come from other parts of the country, and with all of you. We hope we can count on all of you being supporters of higher education in general, the University System of Maryland in particular, and most particular, Frostburg State University and your new president. On behalf of the entire University System of Maryland community, including the chairman of our board, Jim Brady, who you'll hear from in a moment, and Regent Tom Slater, who's also here on stage with us, I offer my heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Nowaczyk. The selection of a president is one of the board's and the chancellor's most important responsibilities. In Dr. Nowaczyk, the system has chosen a leader who combines the elements necessary for success in this demanding and challenging position. You need tremendous energy, you need tremendous optimism. You need to have a reasonable intellect, a compelling vision, a commitment to partnership. And I believe you need to be the right fit for your institution. Frostburg State University is a special institution. All 12 of our campuses are special in their own way. It's a dynamic institution committed to excellence in the education of its students, helping them find that bridge to their futures. It's a force for the cultural and economic development of the Western Maryland region, a strong partner in this region in so many ways. And it's a leader in providing and creating and maintaining a vital community, something that is important to all of our regional campuses, serving as anchors to the community in which they reside. These needs and goals require a special brand of leadership. Ron is such a leader. He has dedicated his career to helping public universities in rural areas and advance academically while expanding both their economic and community impact. As I said, he is a great fit for Frostburg State University. When I was interviewing the finalists for the position, one of the key things I was looking at was the fit. Would they be happy in Frostburg? Would the family be happy in Frostburg? Was it the right mix for both the campus and for the president? Ron convinced me he was the right person, and he did the same with the board. It's a great challenge to assume leadership of a major university. A new president is expected to bring his or her own unique vision to the task. At the same time, he or she must also incorporate that vision with those of many others, colleagues in governing boards, legislators and business leaders, students and alumni, faculty, and yes, chancellors and regents. Ron's response to this challenge is a vision that is strong and clear, enhancing academic excellence and student success, taking Frostburg State University to the next level academically, which we think is critical to the future, strengthening the economic and cultural ties here to the region, supporting and celebrating the diversity and inclusion of this campus, a campus that is already amazingly diverse, growing Frostburg's international efforts by welcoming international students to campus, promoting exchanges for Frostburg students overseas, and expanding international collaborations. All of the above, supporting the goal of generating educated citizens who live here, build families here, and build communities here. Ron, while you were indeed fortunate to follow along the path of your two immediate predecessors, Jonathan Gibraltar and Catherine Guerra, we have every confidence that you will build upon their legacy and push forward, taking Frostburg State University to new heights. And so, as your efforts towards this vision for Frostburg State continue, I hereby charge you to hold this institution in the highest regard, to strengthen its academic programs, especially in areas of great need in the state of Maryland and here in Western Maryland, and to advocate for the students who have placed their faith in this institution. I charge you to value the contributions of your students, faculty, staff, and alumni, and every member of the Frostburg State University community, recognizing that the college's future is dependent upon strong and productive relationships. I charge you to be ever mindful of the tremendous history of this university, while at the same time expanding the horizons and broadening the vision for its future. I charge you to be a force of unity, bringing together the diversity of this campus in a common mission towards learning and leadership. And I charge you to reach deep into the community around you, responding to the needs and concerns of the community, making your institution a vital and vibrant member of that community and the future here in Western Maryland. None of these charges will be easy, but know that you enjoy the strong support and complete confidence of the Board of Regents, your fellow presidents, and me. Godspeed, best wishes for a long and successful tenure here as Frostburg State University's 15th president. Ron, welcome again.
The FSU Chamber Singers, under the direction of Dr. James Redden, will now perform Ain't That Good News by William Foster. Investiture is a formal step to acknowledge publicly the leadership role assigned to the president of the university. Mr. James Brady, Chair of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents and Chancellor Correct, will perform the investiture of Dr. Ronald Nowaczyk as the 15th president of Frostburg State University. I invite Regent Brady to come forward.
Thank you very much, Martha. And I must say up front that I am quite humbled. I've never been quite introduced by anything as elegant as the FSU Chambers singers. I mean, this is pretty neat. That is never happened. I think they were absolutely spectacular, and I think it's a tribute to the university that the curriculum here is so varied, to include everything from the sciences to the arts. And I think having chamber singers like this is very special. On behalf of all of you here today, and let me say too, we have President Nowachyk's family, we have faculty, we have staff, and we have citizens of Western Maryland who recognize full well that this is a very special place. And I say that not because someone told me that. For 15 years, I owned a home out in Garrett County. So I'm very familiar with Western Maryland and very familiar with the fact that this university is a tremendous rallying point for virtually everything that happens of substance in Western Maryland. This is what universities are supposed to be, and I will tell you Frostburg lives up to that in a very, very big time way. So welcome to all of you, and whether you work here or whether you just are here because you recognize the transcendent importance of this university. On behalf of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents, I am honored to be here today with so many of you as we formally install Ron Nowaczyk as the 15th president of Frostburg University, State University. Excuse me on that one. That's unpardonable. Though I think I see some nods, I will be pardoned, I believe. A couple of things. Ron is the right leader at the right time, and in a world where timing is absolutely everything, he brings things to Frostburg which are truly special. He brings insightful and energetic leadership. In fact, it seems to me that Ron's been here for quite a while already. You know, it seems like this inauguration is long overdue. He has already taken full command of the university and has been an influence not only here but throughout the university system. He has an unaltering commitment to the students he serves, and at the end of the day, that's why we all do what we do. It's all about the students, and I think Ron embodies that in a very special way. And he has a vision for excellence and a commitment that will serve this university and the University System of Maryland extremely well for some time. President Nowaczyk, as you continue your efforts to enrich and enhance Frostburg State University, I can make one very clear commitment that I will live by. And that is I pledge the full support of the University System Board of Regents to give you all of the assistance that you need to carry out your mission. That, Ron, is a guarantee, by the way. And you can quote me on that. Now, I do have some official business here. And you see I'm surrounded by some things that you might be wondering about. So let me fill you in. And Ron, may I ask you to come forward? By the power vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Maryland, I am pleased to install you as the 15th president of Frostburg State University with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations thereto pertaining. Chancellor Correct will now assist me in presenting the symbols of your office. The mace and the medallion are important historical and ceremonial symbols of the leadership of Frostburg State University. Presentation of these artifacts confirms the trust that the Regents place in the President and his vision for the university. The mace traces its beginnings to the Middle Ages, and only the Chancellor was alive at that time. He can verify all of that. Evolving from an instrument of battle to an emblem of authority, the Frostburg State University mace bears the university seal, which in turn proclaims the dual mission of the university, scholarship and leadership. Mr. Chancellor, good job. Don't drop it. That would be an unforgettable moment. The university medallion, a replica of the university seal, is worn by the President at all formal academic convocations. And I have that medallion right here, as a matter of fact. Mr. Chancellor, can you do the honors with this?
Ladies and gentlemen, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and distinguished guests, I present the 15th President of Frostburg State University, Ron Nowaczyk.
Thank you, Chairman Brady, Chancellor Corrett, Secretary Peeble, Mayor Flanagan, Dr. Peterson, Mr. Oldham, Dr. Murtaugh, Mr. DeMichael. Thank you all for your comments and well wishes, and thank you to our presiding officer, Dr. Dolly. I would also at this time like to recognize Regent Tom Slater and Vice Chancellor Leonard Rayleigh, who are also here with us on the stage today. Thank you to all of those who have provided greetings, either in person or in writing, to the delegates who are on stage here from other colleges and universities, to my fellow presidents from the state system in the region, and school superintendents and principals in the audience. Thank you also to the friends of the university and community members, and most importantly, thank you, faculty, staff, and students who are here today. Please join me also in thanking Ms. Marcela Romero, who sang the national anthem. I also would like to recognize the Frostburg Brass Quintet under the direction of Dr. Phil Clipman. Although Chairman Brady mentioned it, I also want to mention again the FSU Chamber Singers under the direction of Dr. James Redden. I also like to recognize and thank my executive cabinet and deans who are on stage. And lastly, I would ask that the members of the Inauguration Committee please stand and be recognized and thanked for their hard work. Would they please stand? I was told not to go off script, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now, it was interesting, Chairman Brady mentioned the fact that it seems like I've been here a long time, and students a while back asked, they said, Mr. Prez, what's with this inauguration thing? Are you really not the president? and we were trying to figure out, I said, well, it's part of the tradition, it doesn't happen right away. And finally someone this morning explained it to me. He wanted to see if we could live it through the winter. And they said we may want to delay it a few more hours just to check things out. Before I begin my formal remarks, please allow me to acknowledge, though, the warm wishes I've received from the 3 living presidents of Frostburg State University, Drs. Herb Reinhardt, Catherine Guerra, and Jonathan Gibraltar. I also want to thank and acknowledge the colleagues and friends who have traveled here, some who are in the audience here and some in the front row. I also want to mention Karen Whitney, in the back row there, the president, who I've worked with, had the opportunity to work with and learn from. In terms of family, I have my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Cass and Tom Lavin, here, along with my sister-in-law, Kathy, my brothers, Ray and Rich, and my sister-in-law, Maureen, which at lunch was causing an interesting challenge, as you'll hear in a second, because I also want to recognize and thank my wife, partner, and best friend in life, Maureen, and my son, Jake. It truly is an honor to be formally installed today as the 15th president of Frostburg State University. I want to thank everyone for the wonderful welcome extended to my family and me by the folks on campus, the people in the community of Frostburg, and the people in Western Maryland. This is a special time for Frostburg State University. This Sunday, April 9th, is the 119th anniversary of the founding of State Normal School Number 2 at Frostburg. Today is a day that recognizes the transition in leadership that is both an honor and a responsibility. In 1998, on the 100th anniversary of the institution, the theme was a century of commitment. Today's remarks, I would like to focus on living that commitment. And in doing so, I'd like to reflect on the fabric and DNA of FSU. It was not an easy beginning for this school in 1898. The school was approved as an amendment to the appropriations bill that year. And soon after, in its first year, the school faced a 20% budget cut. Things have changed. The community was also expected to raise $20,000 for the beginning of the institution. The community not only met that challenge, but exceeded it by raising $25,000. And the majority of the contributors were coal miners. And they were not just from Frostburg, but they were also from Lord, Carlos, Eckert Mines, Ocean, and Borden Shaft. I suggest that there are 2 important strands of FSU's DNA. The first is reflecting back on where those miners came from. This institution was built by the contributions from people in the community, in the region. This is a regional university. And the second one is the miners themselves, who were described at that point, quote, as good parents and good citizens, who wanted to give their children the benefits of that system of education which the state so liberally provides. I would contend that that DNA is in this room today in terms of our faculty, staff, and students who are present with us. You heard from Nick DeMichael a few minutes ago. He will be graduating in May on the 100th anniversary of the graduation of his great-great-grandmother, who was a member of the class of 1917. And there are those who preceded us and are part of our legacy and heritage. Individuals like Alice Manicure, Bernie Weiner, Richard Sloop, Dorothy Stone White, Harold Kortz, Walter Lackey, and the list could go on. When I talk to alumni, they add names to that list every time I talk with one. And speaking of alumni, and Ken, thank you for your comments, what I found when I meet with alumni, we find individuals who are humble but yet very accomplished. And to a person, they will tell me that this institution changed the direction of their lives. And also I want to thank and acknowledge and recognize as part of our DNA, the community members and friends of the university who helped make this place successful. So how has that DNA played out into the evolution of FSU? It's certainly been influenced by my 14 predecessors, who took FSU from a school of 57 students to 100 times that number today. And they've expanded it beyond a normal school into a comprehensive university. It is reflected in our name changes. Under John Dunkel in 1934, the state normal school number 2 became the State Teachers College at Frostburg when we began awarding 4-year degrees. In 1963, Frostburg State College came into existence under the leadership of Ardbo and Hardesty when we began offering graduate degrees. The 60s and 70s, while maintaining our commitment to teacher education, was a time of expansion into a comprehensive university, which was recognized under the leadership of Dr. Herb Reinhardt in 1987 when we became what we are known today as Frostburg State University. Now, many people believe higher education is living today in an age of disruption. And there are a number of factors that come into play. One is the changing student demographic. Across higher education, we're seeing a change from the traditional high school student to now a population of students that include many adult learners. And there have been technological changes, most notably the use of the internet. I do want to share a story. Last evening, my son and I were one of the people on stage driving through, looking at campus, and talking about old technologies. We were driving by Old Main, and my son, who's in 5th grade, says, "I've been in that building, it doesn't have any smart boards." It has that technology, that old technology from the 80s. It has blackboards. So those changes are ones that we have to are a challenge for us. Along with that is the change in the speed of knowledge creation and availability to people today. And lastly, funding and affordability. As we move forward, can we ensure higher education is accessible to all of its citizens? Now, I contend that we've been facing disruption in higher education for well over 100 years. In recent memory, the GI Bill and World War II brought a change in higher education where veterans became the first in their families to attend college. And in the 60s, we saw diversity, both in terms of race as well as gender in our college population. And it was also a time when universities were charged with becoming creators of knowledge through research funding. Now, I would argue that we have been living with disruption at FSU and have adapted. Our DNA has served us well. The effects of World War II, let's return to that. In early 1945, there was a recommendation from the Legislative Commission to close the State Teachers College at Frostburg. The community fought it, and that initiative died. Under President Lillian Compton's leadership, when she was brought in to close the institution. We grew from 62 students in 1945 to 500 students 9 years later. Our focus has expanded to become a comprehensive university with over 50 areas of study. We've seen a 100-fold increase in the student body. Campus facilities have changed dramatically from that one building, Old Main. And we offer complete programs at other sites, most notably at the University System of Maryland, Hagerstown Regional Campus Center. One recent example that I'm very proud of is our online programs. Our enrollment has increased 19 times higher than what it was in the fall of 2010. So I suggest that our institutional DNA adapts to this disruption. Every generation at FSU has faced challenges during their own era. How we respond is our obligation to those coal miners in 1898 who were good parents and good citizens. Chancellor, I reflect on the charge from you in the state system. Be mindful of FSU's history while broadening our vision. Be a force of unity. respond to the needs of the community. What is my response? To be focused, deliberate, and intentional. As we revise our strategic plan, we need to publicly define success for our students, for our region and community, and for our faculty and staff. I believe there are several opportunities for broadening that vision. In terms of academic focus, healthcare comes to mind. We've had recent successes as we increase our offerings in the area of healthcare. And clearly, this region, as well as the state of Maryland, needs more work in terms of healthcare. Energy and sustainability. Can we not marry our reputation and commitment to sustainability with a region that has been known for its contributions to energy? I also think we need to do more in student accessibility. We need to continue our advances in how we teach, advise, and help students learn. There are opportunities we need to think about. One is through what I just mentioned earlier, our online programs, where students earn a certificate or a degree without having to be physically present on campus. Can we expand on our successful summer school program of 6 or 7 week courses so that they're offered throughout the year? Why? This would provide more flexibility for working adults. It may also allow students to begin programs more often than just in the fall semester. I also feel we need to expand our commitment on application of knowledge. This, I think, is essential to our DNA. This region has always been characterized by hardworking individuals and a population of doers. More important now than ever is that FSU be able to translate knowledge into action and application. We will succeed through partnerships. We cannot do it alone. To the faculty and staff and those who work on campus, I say today's problems and issues cross academic disciplines. We need to also work with our educational partners, K through 12, and other regional higher education institutions. And lastly, I hope we will work more with industry, business, and community organizations to provide more opportunities for our students through internships and practical experiences. As your 15th president, I accept the responsibilities of those 14 leaders who preceded me. I ask for you to work with me. Give me your counsel and advice. Give your expertise and effort to affect success through our students and our community. Together, we can work to achieve what we cannot do individually. What I commit to is to consult and seek your advice, whether it be faculty, staff, students, or community members. To listen and evaluate carefully. To provide support through professional development for faculty and staff in this fast-paced environment. To accept our missteps as my own, and to share the successes we have as ours together. In closing, I am reminded of an event in the early 60s when President Kennedy visited NASA. He came upon a janitor sweeping the floor and asked, "What is it you do?" The janitor replied, "To get a man on the moon." I ask, are we committed in the same way to our mission? Our mission continues to be success, that of each of our individual students and that of this region. And I contend those two are not mutually exclusive. So please join me in embracing and living that mission for the future of Frostburg State University, its students, and the citizens of this region and state. Thank you.
the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Frostburg State University, I extend congratulations to Dr. Nowaczyk upon assuming the presidency. This concludes our ceremony. You are all invited to attend a dessert reception in the Performing Arts Center lobby. I now ask that the audience rise and remain standing for the recessional. Audience, please remain at your seats until the stage party and faculty have left the hall. Thank you.